On the one hand, there's joy and excitement. On the other, there's a deep intake of breath and questions of whether Mansfield Town actually will survive. The Stags are now 9 games without a win in Sky Bet League One and sit just 5 points above the relegation zone, albeit with games in hand. But should the Stags have done better over their last 2 fixtures, 2 consecutive draws, so yes, they may have stopped the rot in terms of losing games, but they can't seem to get going. They can't seem to score. They can't seem to find that killer instinct to get back to winning ways. Not good when the Premier League leaders are coming to town on Saturday lunchtime for an FA Cup 5th round fixture live on telly. Join us as we recap all things AFC Wimbledon and Rotherham and look ahead to all things FA Cup. Come and have your say on your team on the show for the fans, by the fans. Why? Because win, lose or draw, FA Cup or League One, Mansfield always matters. Hello and welcome to the Mansfield Matters Podcast, the show for the fans, by the fans. 59 places separate Arsenal and Mansfield Town, but on Saturday lunchtime they will come together for a clash of the Titans in the FA Cup 5th round. Can the Stags do the unthinkable again? Well, we'll talk about that in the second half of the show because first and foremost we have to focus on what's important, the one thing that Nigel Clough will bang on about more than that Northampton game in the playoff season when we threw it away, more than the Shrewsbury away game last season when we threw it away, more than penalty shouts and more than referees. Yes, his focus will be about Sky Bet League One. And the true fact remains that the Stags, 9 games without victory in League One now and just 5 points clear of the relegation zone, albeit with games in hand. So plenty to talk about on tonight's show. As ever, come and have your say on your team in the live feed comments below. And a reminder that the views expressed in this broadcast are solely those of the individuals. Who are those individuals, though? I hear you cry and bellow at your screens and your devices. Well, I can tell you that I have got 3 of the very best, well, all right, 2 of the best and 1 other, to join me on the Stags Mansfield Matters podcast this evening. Is it Alan Wilson? No. Is it Clive Parkin? No, because this week I have got a problem which Nigel Clough has not had for a long time, and that is availability. So I've rested Clive and Alan this week, and we can say hello and welcome to a man who lives around the corner from my work. And when I went around the other day to Skype off work for half an hour and knocked on the door, there was no answer. Morning, Jim.
Morning, Craig. Morning, everybody. Hope everybody's okay.
How are you, mate? You well?
I'm good, mate. Yeah, you?
Yeah, very, very good indeed. Very much looking forward to all things Arsenal on Saturday, although I know you'll be keen to talk all things Sky Bet League One. Another man who will be keen to talk all things Sky Bet League One, although I think it's sort of his fault that we're on this little bit of a barren run at the moment. He's back from his holidays, although not quite sporting the suntan that I thought he would be. It's Nick of Mansfield Town Shirts Fame. Evening, my friends.
Hello, that suntan's gone. It's gone. Saturday did that to me at the Stags. Gone.
Well, it will do. It's good to see you as always. Welcome back to Blighty. You've been following results from afar for a few weeks. What have you made of typical sequency, streaky Mansfield?
We always go in runs, though. I think I said after we threw a couple of games away, just before I went away, I said we probably won't win for 5 or 6 games now. And then we got the cup draw, and I said we won't win until we play Arsenal. And it's proved to be, hasn't it? Apart from Burnley, I've missed nothing. I've missed 5 games and I've missed absolutely nothing. That sums it up.
Yeah, it does indeed. Well, we'll talk more about missing that Burnley game in a little while. But first, we need to say hello and welcome and good evening to the third member of the Mansfield Matters podcast panel tonight. I could do a link where I say we've had the good, the bad, and now here's the ugly, but that would mean that either Nick or Jim is the bad and neither are the bad. I could say we've got two decent podcasters in Cam. I could say something else horrible and mean, but I'm not going to do because I'm in a good mood tonight. And to be fair, I didn't have to sit through the Rotherham game in the cold stands on the Tuesday night watching an absolute bore fest. You did, though. Good evening.
Good evening. Yeah, it was boring. And it was colder inside the ground than outside the ground. But yeah, that's 90 minutes of my life I'm never going to get back. Thankfully, I only live 20 minutes around the corner. So I was home like before most of you had even made it down the M1.
Well, my sympathy for you has just quickly vanished out of the window then. As ever, come and have your say on your team in the live feed comments. Nick, I've got to start with you because whilst you have been away, like I mentioned before, you did miss arguably the best Mansfield Matters away day that has ever been known on the planet. And I've been doing a little bit of thinking about this because before you went away, we were talking about who is the curse on the Mansfield Matters away day. For those who don't know, a little bit of back reference, Mansfield Matters away day curse is basically when me, Nick, Clive and Nick's dad, Big Tone, all go together to the games. And for, I think, about a year, we didn't win. I think we saw a couple of draws and that was about it. But basically, we were the bad omen. And Nick said, I think the Jonah is Big Tone. But I don't think it is. I think it's the both of you because
I think it is.
We swapped you out. We
What
swapped
do you
you
want?
out for Alan and my dad. And hey, presto, we win a game.
I know. We won at Sheffield United, though, didn't we? We were there. But yeah, I know. 14 months it was, we didn't win away from home. And we were in double figures of games we went to. It was rubbish, wasn't it? We're streaky, though, aren't we, Mansfield? That's the Mansfield Matters crew are also streaky. We go in streaks. So if you see us at away games, I always say, don't just either turn around or get back in the bus. Because if you see us there, we're probably going to lose. But it was some match, wasn't it? I mean, we were in the sunny climes of Gran Canaria with Mansfield attire, and you know, people were very aware that Mansfield were first on Match of the Day. What's that all about? Turned on Match of the Day in a hotel, and the Stags are on. Got, you know, Spanish people gesticulating at the TV with Louis Reed on it. I mean, what more could you ask for? You know, that doesn't happen normally, does it?
Sounds like a fever dream.
I know. Well, there will be a Spanish man gesticulating at Mansfield on Saturday as well, won't there?
Well, exactly that. So maybe it was a warm up for
maybe it was a warm up. Maybe it was a warm up for that. Yeah, something like that.
Now, obviously, you did miss the Burnley game, and you were well aware of that. Obviously, once we got through at Sheffield United, you know, you said, "I'm going to miss it. Whoever we get out, we get someone rubbish and not a big away day." I guess then it's a bit of like justice for you in the end that we did beat them because now we've got a prize which you can go and witness.
Yeah, the thing was disappointing about Burnley was it was the new ground. We haven't played there since like '92 or whatever it was. So that it was, you know, that we like. I've got that big map that I scratch new grounds off. I wanted to get another one. So, and I kind of wish Saturday was away from home as well. But you know, it is what it is. You can't have everything, can you? It's as good a draw as you're going to get. I know you've probably already discussed this at length, so I don't want to bore everybody. But I was obsessed we were going to get Wrexham. I looked at all those teams, and there was probably 8 out of 10 of them were good teams, and you look at it and you go, even a championship team, you go, well, they were all new teams, I think. It was like Norwich and Bristol City, and you think, well, we haven't played those for a long time, either of them. So you think, well, there's no real bad draws, and you see Port Vale and Macclesfield. I mean, when it was Arsenal, I mean, it was ironic that the people sat on the table next to us were a family of Arsenal fans in full Arsenal kit. So just looked at him, and I think he was like, what's the Mansfield? I don't know if he knew what Mansfield was. But yeah, what a draw. How exciting. The FA Cup went to my daughter's school. She's seen that. You know, it's good, isn't it? For the Stags, it's great. And I think that there's not been as many weekends to look forward to in the last few months. So I think we can certainly look forward to Saturday and not really worry about what's going to happen.
Indeed. Well, we're going to come back to the FA Cup in the second part of the show because first, Jim, we've got to go back to the last 2 games. And as much as we are hyped up and all excited about Arsenal coming to town on Saturday, we have to focus on Sky Bet League One, and we can't ignore the fact that we are now 9 games without victory in Sky Bet League One, 5 points off the relegation zone, albeit with a few games in hand. But on the flip side of the coin, we have stopped the rot, but flipping it back the other way, we should have had 6 points surely from the last 2 games, and here we are with 2.
I think we should have beat Wimbledon. I think the amount of chances we had. And the 2 silly mistakes with the goals as well. I think the Wimbledon game some stags up, didn't it? We play some pretty football, we waste loads of chances, and we'll make a stupid mistake at the back. But I mean, Tuesday at Rotherham, I think a point was fair. I know we haven't won for 9 games, but I'm not worried. I think if we draw every game for the rest of the season, we stay up, don't we? I think we're going to be all right. And draws are enough now. It's that weird time of the season, isn't it, where you just do what you have to do. And I'm not too worried about the winless bit. It's just doing what we need to do. And at least we look solid on Tuesday, and I think we'll be okay. But you're right, the league's more important.
I don't know. For me, Cam, it was a frustrating one Tuesday because I felt if they'd have scored, they'd have won the game. It was a 1-goal game that was going to win it. What frustrates me the most and what worries me the most about going into the last set of fixtures after the FA Cup tie is the fact that we are so inept up front. We cannot ignite our front line whatsoever, hence the title of the show tonight, Failed Ignition, because we just cannot find that spark to get us over the line and to get us a goal. We look so lackluster.
We do, and I think on Tuesday we looked toothless up front for large portions of the game, and when we did get chances, we were wasteful again. I think obviously John Russell producing another decent strike, forcing the keeper into a good save, and we just didn't capitalise on the chances. And this is going to be what's going to cost us again. I think we're in a better position now than we were last season, personally. Yes, you can think comparatively we can't buy a win for love nor money, but we're not losing a ridiculous amount of games. We're not conceding a ridiculous amount of goals compared to what we were last season. We are a better team this year, but we've just been so unlucky with decisions, injuries again, bad timing, and just I think we've just hit a run, and we'll get through it. And I think we won't go 14 without to win like we did last season. I think we will do better. There are teams in this league that are a lot worse than what we are, rather than being one of them. But we just looked like it looked like we were just saving ourselves. We went out there, and I think Nigel Clough would have been quite happy with the 0-0 draw, get through with no injuries, not including Luke Bolton, because the less said about him, the better. But everybody else got through it, no knocks. Tyler Roberts got minutes in the legs again, and I think if he'd have played from the start, we'd have probably won that game quite comfortably. But obviously, it's straight back after injury, and Nigel obviously wasn't going to risk him. And why would you? You're playing the best team in the country and probably the best team in the world at the moment. So why would you risk it for a Tuesday night against Rotherham? Take the point. It's not a loss. We've still got games in hand, and there's still a long way to go. Let's go all gun blazing on Saturday.
It just feels like, though, with the league table, Nick, at the moment, it is so much on a knife edge. I feel a little bit more comfort knowing that we've got a couple of games in hand over those teams down. I think we've got, 2 or 3 over Rotherham, 1 maybe over Leyton Orient. Is it Northampton? We might have one as well. So we've got that, up our sleeve a little bit, which does give you a bit of a psychological advantage. But given how tight it's been all season, let's not forget at one point we were 4 or 5 points off the playoffs.
Yeah, it shows you how you look at Wimbledon and a few other teams who are all of a sudden down there, and it's so easy to swap. You think Plymouth were down the bottom and now they're looking up. There's a few teams, Leyton Orient, looking up there now in the bottom 4. Burton started on the rise again. It's a really tight league. I think one good barometer though that looks in our favour a little bit is goal difference. You look at the goal difference. I think everyone else below is in almost minus double figures, and we're still on +2. So that's kind of a bit of a barometer of where we should be. And I'd like to think we'll end up about where we are now, but you're right. It's so easy for other teams to pick up a couple of wins, and all of a sudden that 5 points don't last very long. And I think in the 30 odd years I've been a supporter, we've never ever won games in hand. We always lose games in hand, no matter what league we've been in. So I remember I'm not too confident about games in hand. We've won the odd one, when we got promoted a couple of years ago.
Hereford.
We won. Hereford's obviously won, but we lost the ones before that. So we're not necessarily normally great at games in hand, but like Jim said, we do look solid. We just can't score. We're so pedestrian. We're great until the edge of the box, and then it's like, the danger man's putting the cross in, he's too far out of the way, and without Oates or Roberts, if either of those two aren't on form, we may as well give up. And Wimbledon on Saturday was case in point. Russell was great. he obviously we knew was going to get tired. But Oates and Roberts were there. There was no threat from anybody else. I think Evans and a few others and Hendry have had poor games. It's working out how you get all the best players to play consistently, because we're going to have this Saturday, Tuesday. We've had so many postponements. We've had cups that if we were playing Saturday, I imagine you could probably play Oates, Roberts and Russell maybe for 70, 80 minutes a game. But these Saturday, Tuesdays are going to mean those sort of players can't play that amount of games. So therefore, the likes of Evans, especially Iro, I haven't seen Iro when I've been away, so I only saw him for his masterclass before I went on holiday. But from what I understand, he's been pretty poor. There's a few players who need to step up in their absence.
Yeah, what I'll say about Oliver Iro is he needs to spend less time filming TikToks and YouTube shorts for his influencer girlfriend and actually spend more time learning how to play football, because he's suffered from Mansfield Town's debut syndrome, where you just go absolutely downhill after having a storming debut. A little bit like George Abbott. I feel a bit more sorry for him though, Jim, because he's obviously had a bit of an injury spell at Wickham earlier this season and didn't get the game time, and he's still struggling to come back, and he's being asked to play in a position where he's probably a bit further back than he wants to be, and he's got all this thing on his shoulders, and he's also got this thing hanging over him that, you know, some people are looking at him like a Jane McDonald replacement, and he's not, and I think that sort of brings him down a little bit, but he does need to step it up when he's getting the chances. I wasn't surprised.
I just want to jump in about the George Abbott thing. Spurs are limiting the amount of minutes he's playing.
Well, what's the point of having him then?
Well, he's on the injury recovery list, isn't he?
It's a pointless loan. If that's what they're doing, I didn't know that. I don't know where you've got that source from or whatever, but I trust you to get that right. Well, if Clough said it, well, I don't always listen to Clough, but what is the point of that loan? That's hampering us to do that. Pointless. Jim?
What, we're supposed to feel sorry for George Abbott?
Yeah. I knew you'd. I got him to smile. Mark that. 18 minutes in, I got him to smile. He smiled.
Has he not got an influencer girlfriend then, George Abbott? Then, or what? Or...
No, that's Iro.
Yeah, I know. Is that why we're feeling sorry? Is that why we're feeling sorry for George? Then he's not got an influencer girlfriend.
Stop it! Don't start talking about Love Island again. Stop it.
Right, football. Right. No, I don't really feel sorry for him. He's getting minutes. He seems quite a confident lad, doesn't he? He seems, from what you hear from other players, he's quite. He talks the talk, so he's probably not, you know, fazed by playing different sorts of positions and stuff like that. And he's got some leadership about him, and he's got a bit of spark about him when he comes on. I do like him. I think that thing about he can only play one half, that's probably got to do something with the fact we've had other players off Tottenham before, and you know, like we took some of these Forest players, and we've got to take some other players as part of the deal and stuff like that, and there's all probably sort of permutations tied in like that. But I think most of our players can only play 45 minutes anyway, so he fits in nicely there, doesn't he? But I think he does have an effect.
Cam, you're hovering your phone either like you're going to play something down your microphone, or like you're listening to something you shouldn't be listening to.
Listening to Clough.
Trying
to find out. I'm sure he said something about the fact he's just on an injury recovery plan, and so it's like it's being carefully monitored how many minutes he's doing and what type of training he's doing, and Premier League clubs.
I agree with Craig though. Why do we want to play like that then if they're not fit and can't play 90 minutes?
I get it in you know, August, start of the season, because you've got more time to get something out of them. But in my opinion, we're in a relegation fight. We are on the cusp. It only takes one bad result for us and one good result for someone else, and we're banging trouble. We can't do that, and you know, I just that frustrates me. As always, come and have your say on your team and in the live feed comments. The few coming in at the minute. Marie says returning from injury should always build up minutes and not put them straight back in. I get it, but at the same time, it's hampering it a little bit in terms of, well, if we've got to take him off at half time, it just frustrates me. Marie also adds, Nick, that Evans had his best game on Tuesday night for a long time. He obviously wasn't due to start on Tuesday. In fact, he didn't start. He came on for Luke Bolton early doors when Luke Bolton decided to be Luke Bolton, and played right wing, up front, left wing back. I think at one point he looked at Liam Roberts and said, "Give me the gloves for 5 minutes."
He fancied being the new John Barry, didn't he? That's what he fancied. Well, all of our strikers have ended up doing that, haven't they? We had Akins as a striker. He's played older positions under the book. Bowery's done it. I'm sure Ollie Hawkins played a few while he was here.
He did.
Maybe Evans is the next one. You know, I'm sure when we signed John Russell, the first thing Cloughy thought was he'd make a good centre back, wouldn't he? But yeah, Evans is an interesting one. I can't quite. I like Evans, and there's people saying he's not good enough. I don't think that. I think he's one of the biggest confidence players we've had since Andy White. Like, you can just tell when he's not confident. He's just all over the place. And I think he needs a partnership. Doesn't he? Look how good he was with Gregory, and then how poor he was on his own. He just needs a bit of a partnership. And I'll die on the hill that one up front in League One doesn't work. I don't care who you are. We have not got strikers good enough to play up front on their own. He sticks Evans up there. He runs around, bless him. He's just lost. Adebayo can't do it. Oates can't. Not many of them can do it on their own at this level. So I think Evans gets hung out to dry a little bit sometimes because he gets thrown up there and just with nothing around him. I can't comment on Tuesday night because I didn't see him. But he's had a few poor games at home recently. But I certainly don't think he's a poor player. He just needs to be found the right system, I guess.
So we'll listen to
Clough. Found it. Yeah, go on then.
Good chance for Mansfield. Lovely volley. Volleyed cross by Evans on the right-hand side, and Abbott may have done better at the back post.
I said to him probably in a couple of weeks he'd have got that, when he's a little bit more up to speed and a touch sharper. But good to see him getting in there as well. He could only play 45 minutes tonight. That's his allocated sort of minutes at this stage of his rehab. But yeah, very close. I think first of all, Luke.
Pointless loan.
Yeah.
Pointless. Sack it off. Where's George Maris when you need him? Injured like everyone else. Let's talk Luke Bolton, Jim. He obviously went off injured on Tuesday night. Yet another waste of a wage.
Oh, God. I think he must have been injured before the game because he was awful for the 13 minutes he was on. And I think that's his third, fourth injury since he's been with us. I think he's been available for about less than 10 games. Must be.
He can only play against Bolton. That's what I said to you, Craig. He played against Bolton and he got injured after that.
It's been a bit of a flop, hasn't it?
Clough said just before that about Bolton was a precaution. That's why he didn't play at the weekend. Played 12 minutes on Tuesday and cropped.
At this rate, I'm fitter than Luke Bolton.
Right.
And last time I ran was for a bus in 2018. So, I didn't pull anything there. I wasn't injured out for 4 to 6 weeks. So it's frustrating though, Jim, isn't it? Because, he's a talented player and we've seen what he can do for other teams. But like everything else, there's a reason why these players sign for Mansfield Town for free. Because they're either carrying poor form, falling out with a manager, want to relocate, that's a good one, or carrying a terrible injury record. And it's
been disappointing.
Really grinds me. Yeah.
And he looks overweight as well, doesn't he? You can't help thinking, looking at him, you think he just looks like he needs to be slimmer. But it's been very disappointing. Waste of money. I bet he's on a few quid as well. I don't think how many good games has he actually had for us? I don't think he's had many, but he's got a 2-year deal with us, hasn't he? So it's not the player who ripped us to pieces, is it? That a couple of years ago with Salford, nowhere near.
It's just frustrating. But I think though, flipping it on I'm going to say positive side, although I don't think it is that positive, Nick, is the fact that on paper we've got this fantastic squad who can go and compete. But at the minute, we are almost in a mini pre-season for maybe 70% of those players. And I think that is affecting us in terms of results and being able to turn things around. It's just hitting at the wrong time, isn't it?
It is. And there's multiple times where you see a player and you go, I can't wait for him to come out the second half. And then he doesn't. Or somebody hits a bit of form, then they get injured. You look at Roberts in the Northampton game away where we were dominating. He was running the show and then he's injured. We can't just seem to get that sort of run of. I mean, luckily, Touchwood Oates seems okay. I know he's had a bit of a knock, but he seems okay at the minute. But yeah, it just seems like anybody gets a bit of form, they just disappear and they're injured. I think your point is valid about why they signed for Mansfield. These players, a lot of players go, oh wow, that's a bit of a coup. Why is he signed for us? And then they play 12 minutes and get injured, and we go, that's why they signed for Mansfield. There is a reason why they are playing for us, but I still don't think we've got to the bottom of this historic injury thing, although we seem to be getting less injuries in training, if I'm quite right, for the last few weeks. I've not really been here, but
well done.
We seem to be getting in-game injuries, which is an improvement, isn't it? Is that a positive? We're getting more in-game and less training injuries. I don't know, but we do sign too many injury-prone players, and I think that's one lesson Clough hasn't learned is we sign too many injury-prone players and then get shot. I mean, Adebayo, wasn't he out for half the season?
More
I think
than
it was
that, I think.
longer, 18 months. Yeah.
Russell's been out. We've got Abbott who's come in and he's not fit. Who was the loanee we had last year from? Was it not? He'd been at Doncaster. He came to us, got injured on
Matty
the first
Craig.
game. Yeah, Matty Craig. He had the whole of the loan out. Like, we can't keep doing this to injury-prone players and then go, oh, he's injured. What a shock! You know, you can see it coming a mile off, can't you? These players who we sign and they get injured. It's the same players over again. That's a frustrating thing. You look at other players that don't get injured all season, nothing, and then the other players, it's every other week, isn't it?
Keep your comments coming in. Have your say on your team on the live feed. A reminder, if you listen to the audio version of this, then make sure you come and join us. Follow us on all things social media to find out when we're next going to be live. Just like Chris has done this evening, he says, Evans spends more time chasing his poor first attempt at a first touch at the minute, and Bolton is shocking. I don't understand anyone that thinks he is worth being paid anything. And also speaking about... the Rotherham game and players coming back. Tom says maintaining the gap to Rotherham and not letting them catch up is an important result. And Matt also adds, Jim, that we look so much better when Tyler Roberts is on the pitch. My fear with that, and I completely agree with what Matt says there, is that we're going to do what we did last season, become too heavily reliant on one player again. We cannot do that. I mean, he does lift us, and it's, you know, it's a vast contrast when he's on the pitch. Even a half fit Tyler Roberts is better than 90% of our players at times. But we cannot keep being a one-man team, can we?
No, I don't think we're a one-man team. I would agree. I think he looks fantastic when he comes on. He's our best outfield player by 3 country miles for me. I think there's enough footballers in the team to say we don't just rely on him, but when the likes of Tyler Roberts aren't playing, you can see the lack of quality and bite up front. And I don't think we rely on him, but he just stands out, doesn't he? Because he's the only one who can really reliably do something in the final third. But he's another one who's a bit brittle, isn't he? I don't think you can rely on brittle players. You can see us chucking some money at him in the summer, signing him, and then he's injured for 6 months. You could see that. But, I think he's very good. Yeah, I agree. I think, yeah.
It's the Mansfield way, isn't it? I mean, we saw it on Saturday, didn't we, Nick, when he featured. Not surprised to see him start his link-up play, and I thought he brought out the best in some other players around him as well. It's almost like one or two of them raised their game to align with Tyler Roberts.
Yeah, the main thing about him is just everything. He does it quicker. He does things that other players do. He just does it quicker. As soon as he receives the ball, it's gone, and other players just take that one extra touch around the box and give it away. And it's just smooth, isn't it? I mean, Russell's very similar, albeit he is one of the slowest moving people I've ever seen. But on the ball, it just bounces off and he just passes it straight gone. And we're so much quicker when the likes of Roberts are in the lineup, because they just get the ball and they feed it off quicker. When it goes to Evans and other players around there, it's so pedestrian and slow that they've got a whole team back by the time we attack. But like Jim just pointed out, he's injury prone, isn't he? It's that another one on the list that's injury prone. But we've just got to protect him a bit more. I do think between him and Oates, they're the two that lift us. I mean, Oates came on Saturday. I thought we looked a lot better when he was on. Just all of a sudden, we just looked better. But he's certainly got more quality. I'd be interested if we do sign him in the summer. The only reason we could be able to sign him in the summer is because of his injury record, I think. If he was fully fit all the time, he wouldn't be playing for Mansfield.
Just laughing at a comment from YouTube. Can you ask Cam to stop eating and drinking? It's putting me off my dinner. His face does that for me. So
that will come in.
I'll tell you what I can do. I'll tell you what I can do.
Maltesers, doing one.
I can do that. That's better, isn't it?
Oh, that's better.
That's the way to go, isn't it?
Rude.
Indeed. It's a gag everybody loves. Speaking of gags everybody loves, stop it. Alan Wilson on Saturday. He's not here tonight to discuss this.
What was that all about?
It was very much like, if you wasn't there, I'll recreate it for you. Goal scorer for the Stags, Mansfield Town's number 13.
It's like Tarzan. I thought he sounded like Tarzan when he did it. I was like, what? I don't know what it was. I thought it was a call to arms.
As soon as it happened, I just put in the group chat, Alan, the fuck was that?
I loved it.
He's got a new microphone, so it's so much louder as well, so everybody heard it.
Yeah, it was the worst day to do it. All the days you can barely hear the microphone, but of all the days to do it, it was. I mean, it would only be better if it's on Saturday.
Oh,
like, if that happens on TNT, oh my life, I'd be all over that.
Oh, he'd go viral, wouldn't he? It'd be. It would.
He would, yeah.
I absolutely love it. I'm all for it. And do you know what?
The best bit was as well. Sorry, Trey, was when he scored again, and everyone was thinking, "Now did he do it on purpose?" And literally, the guy behind shouted me, "He's bottled it."
Yeah,
I was like, "No, I don't think that was intentional, mate. I don't think he started. He's not been listening to the Italian announcers. He's not. It wasn't intentional."
I think it was. I think the first time, I think he was. He was that shocked that we'd scored a goal. He was trying to give it a bit of gusto, and first time John Russell has scored. You know what Alan's like? He likes to try things out. But I think he then just sort of went a bit. I don't know, a bit like he got like a little frog in his throat, and he halfway through what am I doing? And then you know what it's like. You know when Alan starts laughing, doesn't he? And I think it just got to him. But I
thought his ceiling might have collapsed. We know how dodgy his ceiling's hanging by. I thought he'd got up and shouted John Russell, and his ceiling had collapsed on him.
I mean, it.
Cam thought something more sinister had happened to him. Bless him.
Well, I know, but honestly,
Matt in the comments, he shouted it into a bin.
I mean, I love it. It was a great moment, wasn't it? Also, I don't know if anyone's heard it. Now, I don't usually plug this because, however, Alan has done an interview for BBC Radio Nottingham in the week. It's available on BBC Sounds, talking about his time as PA announcer at the club and talking about all those clangers. And I've got a bone to pick with him, actually, because he was asked about what's the two sort of standout moments for you. And he mentioned one where there was a minute's applause for Rebecca Adlington, and he said minute silence. I wish I'd have been there for that. And then he said another one about the 5 who've gone off have been replaced by the 5 who've come on. He missed the best one, Cam, didn't he?
I didn't listen to it, but I know already what you're on about.
Has been exchanged. I can't believe he didn't reference the exchange.
I thought he was going to reference the one where he got the team we were playing wrong. Didn't he say Newport substitutes or something? We weren't playing Newport.
Yes, he did.
Substitution for Newport. And I was like, not playing Newport. Where'd that come from?
I don't know how he's going to cope Saturday, Jim, to be fair. I mean, someone's already asked in the comments, how's Alan going to cope with Arsenal players' names? Alan is a true professional. He'll get Kieran, his son-in-law, to do some Googling for pronunciations. And if he can't find them, he'll just go on the pitch and ask. Alan is a consummate pro. But can you approach a 13-year-old on a football pitch and ask him to say the name? Because that's what's going to be the situation Saturday, isn't it, Jim?
No, you have to be careful with stuff like that. But he always seems to manage, doesn't he, Alan? I think there's some weird and wonderful names in League One, and there was in League Two, and he always seems to manage. If you can't say it, just say the squad number.
That's it. I really for Alan. Obviously, like for us, it's great content because when he's on, we get to have a little bit of laugh. He knows it's all banter between us as well. But I really hope there's something on Saturday, just a little Freudian slip, Alan Wilson style, just to give him his moment because he deserves it.
I hope he says Arsenal, but the last bit of Arsenal just cuts off as he's shouting it or something.
The microphone
so just shouts off.
Yeah.
He just shouts off. And just go score for
dear.
And leave it there.
Oh, dear.
Oh, what a bummer. Right, we're going to take a quick break. When we come back, we're going to talk all things FA Cup and we're going to get some previews as well. We're going to hear from the gaffer, Nigel Clough, and we're going to hear from Will Evans, Rhys Oates, and a man called Dave.
Protect what matters most with Actifire Limited, your trusted local fire safety experts in Nottinghamshire. Proud sponsors of the Mansfield Matters Podcast. From fire extinguishers and alarms to emergency lighting, pat testing and risk assessments, they've got everything you need for your business to stay safe. Affordable, reliable, professional. Because when it comes to fire protection, there's no room for compromise. Call Actifire Limited today or visit actifire.co.uk. Be ready, be safe, act now. Actifire Limited, proud sponsors of the Mansfield Matters Podcast.
We're We're the Mansfield Matters crew, making podcasts just for you. Some show up, some disappear, but the Stags bring us all here. Through the ups and downs we stay, talking Mansfield Town every day.
You're back with the show for the fans, by the fans. This is the Mansfield Matters podcast. My name's Craig Priest. Joining me, Cam Felton, Jim Evans and Nick of Mansfield Town Shirts fame. That's his official name. He changed it by deed poll last summer, didn't you, Nick?
I did, absolutely. Yeah,
Mr.
much to the
Mansfield
dismay of
Town
my
Shirts
wife.
fame. Yes, who now has to be known as Mrs. Mansfield Town Shirts fame. It's just a thing. I am going to stay with you though this week because your daughter has been involved in the nostalgia of the FA Cup and all the excitement. You were telling us before the FA Cup paid a little visit to her school, didn't it?
It did, and their helicopter landed in the field right next to her classroom, which was very exciting. But yeah, I mean, it's great, isn't it? It's great to get out of the community and see the kids, and they all got a badge, which I don't know if it's for sale, but it's a proper FA Cup badge with Arsenal and Mansfield on it. It's really good, actually. I don't know whether they're on sale, but they've given them to the kids. Yeah, I mean, it's nice. Part of me just, I mean, that bit was fine, but then when you see all the interviews on various different news websites, it's like they just care about Mansfield for a few days, and it's back to Mansfield not existing. You know, you talk about Radio Nottingham. I know they've done bits and bobs, but they only care about us this week, don't they? And then we'll go back. Maybe that's cool about being a Mansfield fan, isn't it? That you go back to no one really caring about us again. But I guess it's nice this week. I listened to talkSPORT and they're talking about it on there, so it's great. You know, it's great for the publicity of the club, and whether it draws in any more support long term, I don't know. But yeah, it's nice that people care about us for a week, isn't it?
Speaking of talkSPORT breakfast Saturday morning. Some idiot's going to be on it, and I'm not talking about Cam. I've got to be nice to him now. He's got his daughter with him. Hello, Evelyn, by the way. Yes, I think it's great excitement for all things Mansfield. It's great to see, you know, the community trust getting out there, getting involved with it. I know there's been lots of other bits as well this week, Cam, you know, filming at various pubs, and, you know, I think they've done a little bit of the museum as well. Everybody has caught FA Cup fever. And, you know, the last time we had something on this scale was the Liverpool game in the conference. We know what that did for us. It's just going to be an enjoyable day, isn't it? As great as Burnley was, I think this one's a little bit more special. It's on our home turf. And I don't know about you, but I was speaking to my dad before the last home game, and we were sort of talking about the West Ham game in the 60s and everything like that. And obviously he was reminiscing. He's got no photos or no videos because smartphones weren't a thing at all back then to record it and everything. Was your dad the same? Has he been sort of remembering memories of West Ham and all of the old games pre-Nokia 3310s?
Sorry, was that to me?
Yes.
Sorry, that dropped out slightly. I think to be fair, it's pre my dad's time, but my uncle and my granddad definitely knew. I think my granddad was there, and it's that it doesn't come along often. And like you say about the Liverpool game, I think this outdoes it. I think just by the virtue that I'd probably say the difference between a Premier League team and a National League team isn't as far as it used to. Is a lot further than it used to be now. And like Clough said in his interview, if Arsenal just turn up, they can turn us over without trying. And I think that's the main thing. So we know we can just go out and do whatever. So let's enjoy the circus. Let's enjoy all the attention we're getting. And you've got to remember, this is only the second time we've ever played Arsenal. And the last time we played them was in the FA Cup 97 years ago. There's just so much to get excited about. It's only, the fifth time ever we've reached this stage, and the first time in 51 years that we have done it. There's just so much. And like Nick said, the cup going to his daughter's school, and there's just so much media circus. And it's great for the town because, all right, it's only 1,600 Arsenal fans coming, but we're welcoming the world to Mansfield because it will be probably the most watched game over the entire weekend because it involves the team that arguably at the moment probably are the best club team in the world. They're on potentially to win the quadruple. They're favourites to win everything. And
could be our most watched game of all time, couldn't it? I don't know what the figures are, but I guarantee this is probably the most watched game Mansfield have ever had.
So all we can do is just go on and put out a performance, and we can just, us as fans, we don't have to worry about it because we know, like, right, if we don't do anything and we get battered, it doesn't matter. But if you're an Arsenal fan, you've got to worry about it. If we beat them, it's embarrassing, and the press will run with it for a week. So there's a lot riding on it, and I think we've also got to look at it the other way. We've got a lot of unknowns for. Do you mind? Sorry, whittling away.
No, I was kind of hoping that Evelyn was going to turn around and say, "Daddy, you're an idiot" or something, but clearly I've not given her enough pocket money.
Hang on, should we do a party trick? Hang on. Who's that?
Staggies.
Good girl. There we go. So
child exploitation is living it large on the Mansfield Matters podcast, ladies and gentlemen.
Too right. But yeah, there's just so much riding on this game. And to be honest, I'm going to mention this now because I'm sure we'll mention it very shortly as well. I feel sorry for Alan on Saturday for something else as well. Because there's a hell of a lot going off inside his little sound booth on Saturday. All the cables and everything, all the VAR bullshit stuff.
Do you mind swearing in front of your daughter? What a rubbish example of a father you are.
Well, he's just... Yeah, Alan's got to deal with that. He might. Reece Oates could score the goal of the absolute century, and it might be a toenail offside.
Not if Alan pulls the cables out.
Yes.
If Alan sways one way on his,
if Alan trips over.
If he turns that microwave on, that whole thing's kaput. I don't think
the ceiling could drop. Anything could happen in that booth. We've all been in there. Anything could happen in there.
Jim, have you been in there? Have you had the pleasure of Alan's box?
I've been in Alan's box. That sounds good. That sounds right, doesn't it?
That's great out of context.
There's not a lot.
There's not a man here who's not been in Alan's box. Quote that.
There's not a lot of room in there, though, is there? I don't know where they're going to put it.
No, it's very tight in there. No, my dad's been in there as well.
It's very snug. It smells a little bit like bins.
Well, you know,
he's a bin man, isn't he? He was a bin man for all. You know what?
He was. So it's a rubbish line of conversation. I love all things FA Cup hype and everything. I do feel a little bit sorry for Al on Saturday because he has got the VAR stuff going in there. But I don't think there's going to be a bloke sat in there watching screens. I think they're literally just running cables upstairs, I think, to because it obviously runs all the way. I don't know, but yeah.
I don't know because I don't know if it's the same in the Premier League, in the FA Cup, is it in the Premier League? In the Premier League, when there's a VAR decision, the referee is then over the PA to announce the decision.
Oh, okay.
So I don't know. I know you obviously don't watch anything other than Mansfield, so you
they do in the Premier League, but
they do in the Premier League. So I don't know.
Can you imagine if he has to go up to stand next to Alan to do it? He has to walk up to stand next to Al. Or Alan maybe has to go to him with a microphone and go like that. Hold it up to him.
The guys who watch the screen are in Stockley Park, aren't they? They're not at the actual ground.
Yeah, it's a beanbag thing, isn't it?
Yeah.
Or in a nice, comfy, warm office together with a cup of cocoa. But can you imagine Alan after having to hand over the microphone? It's going to be worse than when that American fellow was, doing the announcing.
He was great.
Goal scorer for Mansfield Town.
I'm sure the ref.
Done.
Yeah, we'll get him back. I'm sure the ref's Tom Bramwell, and I'm sure he's from Sheffield. So let's hope he's not a Sheffield United fan. We binned them out, didn't we?
I believe he is.
I don't know what
Lewis Reed after a minute for nothing. I'm sure Tom Bramwell's from Sheffield.
Just casually gives Lewis Reed a yellow card in the first minute for nothing. Right. Obviously, Jim, on the last few podcasts, we've spoken a lot about the financial impact on the club and everything like that as well. And there was a few sort of moans and groans that supporters had been sort of priced out of the big marquee. 50 quid for a bacon cob and a free coffee. Still can't see anything on that article, by the way, which says about the amount of teas and coffees or cobs you can have. So exploit that, people. If you've paid your 50 quid, get your money's worth is all I'm saying. However, Jim, the club have announced today that after selling out of tickets for the Radford Foundation marquee, the club has made an additional provisions for supporters this Saturday, installing a temporary marquee adjacent to the Radford Foundation marquee. Access to the additional marquee is free of charge. The additional marquee will be open from 9 a.m, serving drinks and refreshments. So you've got to give the club the credit here, because as much as we were saying they've maybe forced those fans out who've had that ritual before a game or whatever, they've made the provision. They've put the provisions in place to get the temporary marquee back up and give fans somewhere to go.
Yeah, I mean that's nice in a way, isn't it? They've fully cashed in on this, haven't they?
They have to.
Well, they do and they don't. I think they were always going to make their money through the TV money more than anything. I still think 35 quid's a little bit steep, especially for us regular season ticket holders and whatnot. It was a tenner at Burnley, it was a tenner at Sheffield United, and I just think, to me, was in the spirit of the competition. And I just think 15 quid would have been fair, because they were going to make the money elsewhere on the day. But anyway, it's been set now. But I'm not against them sort of making money with the tent and stuff and hospitality and drinks, and because you don't have to do all that. But obviously, the ticket, you do have to have the ticket to go. But it is what it is. They did say they'd never be like this, but that seems to be changing. But there we go.
It's a quandary, isn't it, Nick? We've not really had your opinions on this, because obviously you weren't on in the last couple of weeks when we were talking about it. I agree with Jim to an extent that the price point is slightly too high. However, I understand why they've done it. I understand why they've done everything else in terms of, the marquee 10 and all of that stuff as well. You have to try and make an impact. And I was sort of doing a little bit of Craig math, which I know is dangerous before you start. And I think
Did it take 3 attempts to do?
Just the one. And I think that this game for the club is probably worth, if you take into consideration ticket sales, concourse sales, club shop merchandise, bar takings, potential returns on fans coming for future games, commercial advertising, commercial revenue, all of that side hustle that you can get, every little penny that you can think of. I think it's probably worth in the region of £2.5 to £3 million, which we wouldn't have budgeted for, at the start of the season, because we couldn't predict that it was going to happen. And then you look on the other side of it as well. The footfall to the town's going to be greater. It's going to be increased. It's put Mansfield on the map. It's probably worth £1 million to £1.5 million for the town alone as well.
Yeah, you'd think so. I mean, to be honest, I think they probably all sat down and they could have named their ticket price and they would have sold out. If they'd have sold them at 50 quid, they'd have sold out. There's no doubt in that.
Yeah.
People would have paid it. So I guess the meeting for them is sitting down and going, well, at what point? And I think actually Sid put it on X, Twitter, whatever, that the club have treaded a fine line between ripping fans off and maximising profit. And I can't blame the club for sticking a few extra quid on, to be perfectly frank. I mean, Burnley and Sheffield United knew they weren't going to sell out, so they knew there was no point in maximising theirs. I think the Radfords could have named their price and people would have paid it. And I think you have to take advantage. We've not played. When was the last time we played the club who were top of the Premier League or top of the highest division? It's a long time. My dad did tell me, and he quoted the exact game and what temperature outside and what it was doing in the weather.
Of course he did.
But you've got to take advantage. I'm sorry, I think you have to, and I think, and I see what Jim's saying, but I think they could have named the price. So they've probably. I guarantee there'll be somebody on that board of directors who wanted to charge more, and there'll be some who wanted to charge less. So maybe they found a bit of a middle ground. But I hope we get every single penny out of everyone going and see, maximise what we can make.
And that is an important point to talk about now. We're going to hear from Nigel Clough, who's obviously done a press conference this week, a big FA Cup press conference. Lots of journalists turning up for it and everything. The full thing is on the club's YouTube channel, so make sure you go and give that a watch. But go and give that a watch. Come on, Craig. I'm doing an Alan. But Nigel Clough has obviously got history in the FA Cup, and he's seen the financial impact that a game like this, of this magnitude, could have. Of course, when he was Burton manager back in 2006, they drew Manchester United at home. They were fortunate enough to get a draw and a subsequent replay, which set them up for, the next 10, 20 years. Unfortunately, replays aren't a thing now. And if we lose the game, we don't get any money for losing the game either. So the competition has certainly changed in that respect. Let's get Nigel's take on it all.
That's inspiration, I think, still for us today, 20 years on, with the sort of players and the Manchester United of old that they had. And the worst part about that game was the draw had obviously been made on the Sunday, but we'd been postponed on the Saturday. So we were at home to Burscough, so we knew we had which made the game on the Tuesday even more nerve-wracking, and we knew what was at stake. The club had just moved to the new stadium. There was an overspend on that. And so to get the draw against them was just absolute dreamland. And it's set Burton up for the next 20 years. You can't underestimate that, the replay. That's why we're a little bit upset about replays not being for lower league clubs, for not being still available now. You might fluke a 0-0 after 90 minutes, as we did at Burton, and then you get a huge financial reward. And as much as it's an extra game for everybody, the magnitude of that game can make a huge difference to a club's future. So for that reason, I wish there was replay still available. And even the prize money leading up to this round, I think you get a few quid even if you lose. And I think that stops as well in the fifth round. Because I suppose they don't expect too many from lower league clubs to get to this point. But there should be a little bit more of a reward there in terms of a potential replay, or even a bit of split of the prize money or something like that.
Nigel Clough there speaking to the world's media earlier this week. You can watch the full thing on the club's YouTube channel. Just search for Mansfield Town FC. Thanks to the club for that. Some interesting points in there, Jim, about what he said and the way that the competition has changed. And I was having this conversation earlier. I was invited on a generic podcast this week to talk all things FA Cup. It's surprising who comes out and asks you questions when there's a big game in town, isn't it? They didn't want to know when we were playing the likes of Hayes and Yedding, did they? Anyway, that's another rant for another day. But we got onto the topic of conversation about home versus away. I was asked, am I happy that we're at home? Am I frustrated that we're not away? And then another question was, how do you feel about there not being a replay? And my answer, Jim, was, I'm stuck between a rock and a hard place, because the way we are with our squad, we can't afford to add more fixtures in. However, if we fluked a 0-0 or 1-1 or whatever at home against Arsenal and then got to go to a new ground, the financial benefits on that will give us another 5-6 years worth of funding. So I don't know where I sit with it. What about you?
Well, I think the solution is, I think a replay for someone like us in theory would have been fantastic, wouldn't it? Or just being drawn away in the first place. I think a fair compromise in situations like this is if they said, look, one game suits everybody, suits them, suits us. How about in situations like this, the smaller club gets the option, do they want to play it away? So if we get drawn at home, for example, like this, we automatically get the option, do you want to switch grounds? And then I think everybody's happy then. It's still one game, we get the away day, happy days. I think that's the solution, that's fair.
See, I like that suggestion. I would caveat it slightly, Nick, by sort of saying to the club that's drawn away, aka the higher side, you've got two options. You can either agree to a replay, and if you don't agree to a replay, you've got to pay a fee, or if the home club want to, you have to host it at your ground. That way, there's a little bit of there's something for all. There's an option for a replay, because what I don't want to do in Jim's scenario, I think is a great suggestion, by the way. I'm not dismissing it. Well, what I think there is that takes away the psychological element, because you're not telling me that those Arsenal players who know they're coming to Mansfield on Saturday are up for it. They're going to be uncomfortable. It's a scenario which, they're not thinking about. And it's the same almost like when Macclesfield play Crystal Palace or Brentford or whatever. The lower league setting, they're not used to that environment. So the psychological element there has to be a factor as well, if that makes sense.
Yeah, it does. I think the only thing we might be forgetting slightly, and I saw a few Arsenal comments, is that they're very excited to come to Mansfield. They've not had, if you're an Arsenal fan and you want to tick off the 92, for example, now I know there's only a very small number of them who could possibly go. I know there's a very small amount of Palace fans who could got to, or Brentford fans, sorry, went to Macclesfield and Palace. If you then let the smaller side swap, the fans of the away club, the bigger clubs, may never get the chance to go to a smaller ground, because every time the home team's going to want to swap. So there is that to consider. I think we always think that, as Mansfield fans, there's Arsenal fans as well who will absolutely love coming to Mansfield, who have not had the chance in 100 years to go and see their club play at Mansfield Town. So there is that side to it, albeit there is a much smaller number of them, because we can't obviously accommodate that many. The disappointing thing for me is the prize money. There is no reason to stop the prize money at this round. Absolutely no reason. You lose at this. Same with even up to the semi-final. I think they all. So It's mental. Why is there no prize money for losing? I don't understand that at all. I think there used to be, as far as I'm aware, but you look at when Sutton played Arsenal, didn't they, a few years ago on their little plastic pitch when they were in the conference.
Sutton and Lincoln played Arsenal in the same cup run.
Yeah,
and I'm sure back then I'm sure there was talk they got prize money for losing, but to get nothing is bizarre. I do not understand that at all. The money that's in football, I have no concept of why we wouldn't get money for losing to Arsenal at home. I don't get that. Maybe that would swap it slightly. I don't know. Just seems mad.
I think it's by this stage, it's mostly big clubs left anyway, isn't it? And it's not really.
Oh no, I get that.
It's so wrong.
Yeah, which is wrong though, isn't it? Because the FA Cup, anyone could win the FA Cup. I know that there's a select few who have, but anyone could win it. Coventry got to the semis. Was it last year, or year before, whenever it was? Millwall have got to the final in my lifetime. It can happen, but they don't want it to happen, do they? Ultimately, let's be frank.
Mm.
For Mansfield to get nothing out of losing 1-0 to Arsenal at home is mental.
Which is exactly why I'm glad in some way we've got the home game and we're making the most of it in terms of revenue and putting us on the map. I don't think we'd have this as big amount of coverage if we'd drawn Arsenal away. It's more special that it's more geared that they've got to come to us. Big Arsenal have got to come to little old, Minnow in Mansfield, and I think that's where the narrative is. And I'm going to throw a question his way because he's just put something in his mouth, which I find hilarious, and he should know better to do that. And that is, we've come up with lots of different ingenious ideas to solve competitions like this over the years. I'm thinking the COVID Cup. What ingenious ideas can you throw into this one? What's your take on it all? No, let her speak. Let the kid speak. She'll speak more sense than you.
She's got a sweetie stuck in her teeth. That's what she said to me. Anyway, and if my mum asks, she's not in bed because she doesn't want to be in bed. So, anyway. Oh, you've really put me on the spot here. Usually we have something really good. I still think the COVID Cup is by far the best one we've ever created. And I still think that should be... I think, rather than the Premier League teams going on these international pre-season tours that they do, I think they should throw in a Virtue Motors Trophy-esque type cup competition, just actually as a pre-season kind of thing. It'd be better. I don't think that's the worst idea. Rather than sending, because I think the worst thing is they play each other. They play 38 Premier League games a season. What do? They get rid of our replays just so they can go and play some pre-season friendlies against other Premier League teams in some nondescript country that does not care or only cares about certain players. Don't even care about certain teams sometimes. There's like if you sent Everton to God knows where, they won't care about Everton. They'd only probably care about Jack Grealish. And there's just so many teams like that, and it bugs me. I hate Premier League football, especially
Absolutely.
Forest, but that's a different conversation. But
yeah, it is. If you want to see the prize money, by the way, Stag's Chat has done a superb job of putting it in the comments. Go and have a little look at that. I would read it out, but it's just text me. It's that block of text is absolutely doing my eyes in, so I can't really read it out. Evelyn, have you got the sweetie out of your teeth yet?
Is it out your teeth? Is it okay?
Yeah.
Good.
Oh, tell Daddy you want another sweet.
No. She's already done me out of me white chocolate Maltesers.
Good kid. Right, let's move on, shall we? And I'll have a custard cream. I'll have one while we hear more from Nigel Clough, because obviously one thing we don't know is the strength of the Arsenal squad who they're going to be sending down on Saturday afternoon, which makes it even more tasty, or at least that's what the angle of the journalists are going to go for anyway. Here's Nigel Clough speaking about the Arsenal.
I don't know if that'll make much difference. I can't see him playing too many players who are going to play at Brighton and in the Champions League. There might be a few, but they have bigger fish than the FA Cup because those two competitions are. Whereas for us, it's absolutely huge. But still, the strength of the 25-man squad. We actually drew them in the Youth Cup here earlier on this season, and the 1-4-0 Arsenal did. And I think there was 2 or 3 players playing that night who would cause us problems in our first team. Such is the quality that they have.
That's Nigel Clough speaking about the strength of the Arsenal squad there. Jim, it is an interesting quandary because, like Nigel says, played in the Premier League on Wednesday night, so a day's less rest. And they've obviously got a Champions League fixture as well. And they've got a Carabao Cup final coming up soon as well. So in terms of the FA Cup at the moment, it's probably last on Mikel Arteta's list of priorities. But again, like Nigel said, when we played them in the FA Youth Cup earlier this season, they had some quality talent on show.
Yeah, like I says, they've got 25 players who are all Premier League quality. We're not. Yeah, they're the top side in the country. We're not going to see their starting 11, are we? It's going to be a bit of a cobbled together side because it isn't on paper his top priority. Although, even though they're 7 points clear, it still might be the only trophy they win this season, the FA Cup. So there's two ways of looking at it. But yeah, we'll see some good players either way. I can imagine we'll see Martinelli and Madueke and people like that.
Jim's just saying words at me now. I ain't got a clue what you're talking about.
You not heard of them?
Nope.
No.
I couldn't.
They're the two ladies serving the cobs in the tent, aren't they?
It doesn't watch any football. It doesn't watch any football unless it's Mansfield. Even England doesn't watch England.
Couldn't care less. I can't tell you I can't tell you who the England captain is.
Oh, I bet you could.
Give me any quiz question about any footballer around from Mansfield Town. I'd have to guess. It would be a plain guess. Could not care less. Could not care one.
Hang on. If you've got one, which current Premier League team did Tyler Roberts used to play for?
Leeds.
Even I know that.
Yeah. Oh, Leeds United.
Got it.
That's
okay.
I'm
Stags related, isn't it?
I'm going to know that it's Stags related. And do you know why? I only care about
Get the board out. Get the board out.
Because I need to put it on full screen, don't I, to do that. Where's my mouse gone? Tech problems.
Ooh.
It's because Mansfield always matters. I need to get that podcast, don't I?
I always find though people at work and people I talk to have no concept that I have no interest in football unless it's Mansfield. Like I honestly could go all weekend not knowing the scores. I didn't know the Premier League was on last night. I had no clue till this morning. I heard it on the radio. I don't watch it. I've got no interest in it. Right, but people find is there?
Yeah.
People find that weird. Oh, that's not weird. We're not weird.
No.
We're not weird, are we?
No, we're not weird. Absolutely not weird.
Palace right now.
Everyone else is weird.
Yeah.
Never
Never heard of him.
Palace, sorry.
Never heard of him. Of course, though, unlike me and Nick, Will Evans, Rhys Oates and Dave do take an interest in football outside of Mansfield Town. Let's have a listen to what they had to say as they previewed playing the Premier League leaders and some Premier League footballers that are on lots of money whose names I couldn't give a toss about.
Those, you could say I've got a bit of an upper hand. I think, lads in the squad have all played against big sides, but luckily for me last time it was a home fixture as well, which I think definitely helps. I think you need every little bit of help you can get against a team like Arsenal. Obviously they're going so well at the moment. But similar to last year, the build-up was all a lot of noise, and you just get to the game, and by the time you're at the game, you just want to enjoy it, give a good account of yourselves and individually and as a team, and hopefully we can do that again on Saturday. Listen, I've watched them on the weekend, and the rotation they have, that you'd think they'd make changes, and we were just saying their so-called second string team is probably still a top 4, top 5 team in the Premier League, so just shows the strength they've got. But again, I think it's more about us. I think we've just got to enjoy the occasion. It'd be great for Mansfield as a club. It'd be great for the town, and it's going to be great for us as players as well.
Like Will's just said, it's going to be a tough game, and we're the underdogs. But we're just going to go out there, enjoy it, and just give it 100%, and just do what we can. And hopefully, you never know what happens in the FA Cup. So hopefully we can get some sort of result. I think we just need to be defensively solid. Just work hard as a team, solid on set plays, which we know is going to be tough. And then once we do get the ball, try and keep it as long as we can and be a threat going forward, whether it's we can get it down and play if they give us a bit of space or not, or play on the counter-attack and get in behind, which I'm quite confident that I'm good at. So hopefully I get a few opportunities where I can get in behind and show what I can do.
I'm pretty calm, to be fair. At the end of the day, it's just another game. I think rightly so that I should be on Mansfield. I think what the club has done has been brilliant for all the boys and the staff. I think it's excellent for the town to obviously be in the 5th round and to play against what people will say the best team in Europe at the moment. So I think everyone involved within the club should enjoy it. And I think we should go out there and enjoy it as well. I think like the boys said earlier, you know, I think you always want to test yourself against the best. I think every player within the Football League or whatever believes that they can play at a better level or whatever. So you get opportunities like this don't come around often. So when they do come, you got to almost take them and enjoy them as well. But listen, we're good players as well. They're a great team, but we're a good team as well, you know, on our day. And we'll be obviously going to the game pretty confident.
That's Will Evans, Rhys Oates and Dave there speaking about all things Arsenal coming up at the One Call Stadium very, very soon on Saturday, of course. And by the way, that wasn't on 4 times speed, the Dave bit. It's just how fast he speaks. You know, he's a cool, calm, collected man, isn't he? Cool, calm, collected man. We are going to finish talking about all things Arsenal now, and then we'll move on to podcast predictions in just a second. Now, obviously, I had a bit of a rant the other week. Nick, you wouldn't have seen this because you were away. Talking about all things. That was great content. Social media influencers and morons who say that the FA Cup is dead and all of that. I'm going to have a bit of a pre-rant now. It's not, well, it's more of a bugbear. Arsenal are coming to the One Call Stadium on Saturday lunchtime, Jim, and for the younger generation, there will be one way in which they will remember this occasion and quite possibly do what Cam's doing now, and that is watching it and filming it through their phones. Enjoy the moment for what it is. Yes, take a photo or whatever before the game with your mates or whatever, but as soon as that whistle blows, soak in the atmosphere for what it is. Don't film it, don't photo it, just enjoy it for what it is.
Oh, absolutely. There'll be plenty of...
Sorry.
Can't we done it for the third time tonight? Interrupting me.
Sorry. If they're really that bothered about
it's still going.
Re-recording it,
shut up.
Record it on the telly box. Sorry, someone's getting a bit aggy.
But, right, are we done?
It's Jim.
Yep.
Right. Yeah, so there'll be plenty of footage recorded for the game, won't there? You know what I mean? So you just watch the game. There'll be plenty of replays, highlights afterwards when you get home. So, yeah, I agree with Craig. Just enjoy the game. Mobile phones are up. Pain and scourge of the earth. And in fact, they ought to sort of ban him in the ground, take him off you when you go in. That's a good idea, isn't it?
Some
we can
blokes
sell
there
those
with
as well.
6,500 phones. Just Alan Wilson's got them all in a bag.
Just dishing them out.
One of them's ringing. Somebody's just ringing. Which one? I don't know. It's in the bag.
We can sell those as well and add to the profit we make for the game. That's a good idea, isn't it? It's about
I like that.
An iPhone, isn't it? Yeah.
Buy back your own phone scheme for £1.
Yeah.
Put it in. I love it. No, in all seriousness, though, Nick, it is a bit of a bugbear, and I sort of say it tongue in cheek, but you know, I say this from the heart because I've been listening to my dad talk about his memories of like the West Ham game, and listening to a few others talk about all the other games and everything. There's even one for me. You can see the scarf just behind me. I know Cam's not a fan of half and half scarves, but whatever. Newcastle away in 2006? Yeah, January 2006. Alan Shearer scored that equalising record goal, and there's a little bit of Geordie history and everything. Great stadium to go to. Yeah, there were smartphones around, but not the greatest ones. And all I've got to remember is a scarf of my own memories. But I love that because it's just pure memories. It's not. I'm telling you now, if someone stood in front of me or sat in front of me and stands up watching the game like this, I will throw the phone. I will take the phone out of the hand and confiscate it. I will be that angry. I'm going to be that angry fan.
I agree. I think take a picture. That's great. Take a picture of your favourite player if you're a kid, if you like an Arsenal player or whatever, or you want a picture of Mikel Arteta going mad when they've not got the 6th penalty of the game. The one thing I don't like is filming corners. Although, actually, tomorrow, to be perfectly frank, filming a corner is probably a good idea, considering that's the only way that Arsenal seem to score at the minute. But when it's on TV in 4K Ultra HD, I don't think you need to film a great deal of it, do you? Not really. What there will be, I guarantee, is there'll be some vloggers in there.
Oh, God, yeah.
Albeit one of my favourite videos of all time is the guy who goes to Notts County, Mansfield in the county end and vlogs the whole game. There's some incredible footage of the Stag's End, I must admit. But yeah, just, I don't know. I guess kids are kids, aren't they? It's very different growing up now to as it was. I didn't have a phone that could record, but I would have done probably. But grown-ups, it's not allowed. If you're over 12, well, if you're below 12, you shouldn't have a phone. If you're a kid, I don't mind. I'll let you off, but because you can always look above them, can't you? If they're stood up filming, they're only look down here, aren't they? No grown-ups filming. That's probably where I draw the line. Is it grown-ups?
Yeah.
So if you're a grown up, don't.
Listen, like, don't try it. Like, look, I get. Just enjoy. Live in the moment is all I'm trying to get at. Live in the moment.
Unless we're
That is
6-0 down after 20 minutes, then you could just film away. Do what you want.
Just what? No, no.
Let's go.
Just leave.
Is there a limit tomorrow, by the way, Craig? Because normally at away games, we look at each other after 20 minutes of absolute shambles and go 4, 5. Is there a limit tomorrow? There's no limit tomorrow, is there? Can't be.
No, absolutely no limit tomorrow because it's Friday tomorrow.
Oh, Saturday.
We're playing Saturday.
Saturday.
So, you know, I think we'll be all
Are we
right.
still there at 12-0? I think we are.
I think so. I don't think it's going to be that. I think it'd be.
I don't.
I think it'd be a tight game. We're going to lose. I know we're going to lose, but let's just enjoy it, play without fear, and watch it through our eyes and not our phones. This segment, though, you can watch through your phones because you probably are watching through your phones. That's right.
The game of luck, who gives up, don't mess it up. I hear you say, how do you play? Win, lose or draw, then pick a score and one more thing. Pick a hero, don't score 0, that's the game. But we're not fools, this game has rules. It gets on time, you'll be fine, remember the rhyme. Predictions. Remember the rhyme. Guess on time, you'll be fine. Remember the rhyme. That's predictions.
Yes, podcast predictions time. Right, first and foremost, let's start with the results then from Tuesday night. Nobody predicted a 0-0 draw, but this week's winner, because there has to be a winner, is Quinny is God, who picked up 13 points by virtue of choosing Dave as their fantasy captain and saying that Rotherham wouldn't score. The overall table looks like this. In 5th place, it's our Clive in 308. A point ahead, it's me on 309. 3rd place, Matt Piercy on 314. In 2nd, it's Limbo 74 on 316. But storming the way at the top at the moment is Chris Vincent on 360 points. In terms of the Mansfield Matters crew table, the top 3, I'm leading the way on 309, like I say. Clive a point behind me on 308. In 3rd, it's Jim on 260. So will that change? I usually say we won't be doing predictions because we've got a cup game up next. But of course, we forget, Jim, don't we? And Cam, I'm asking Jim this question, not you. We forget, Jim, that we've got a game on Tuesday night, don't we?
Well, I've not forgotten about it. I'd sooner win Tuesday night and lose on Saturday. I'd take that. There's no point beating Arsenal and getting relegated. So, yeah, big game, Reading. And I'm glad to see Clough ramming it down the players' throats daily as well. Yeah,
absolutely. And that does mean, though, that we have to make some predictions for that game. Cam, I'm going to start with you. Or should I say, Jim, I'm going to start with you. So, Cam, you can talk.
Right then, go on then. Right, pick 2 numbers.
1 and 2.
So we're going to win 2-1.
No, she said 1 and 2.
All right.
She said 1, 2.
2-1. 2-1
No, Cam, you're doing it all wrong. No, Cam, you're doing it all wrong. Listen, there's a jingle for a reason. You have to ask her win, lose, or draw.
Sorry, right. Win, lose, or draw. Lose.
Told you.
All right, maybe we are going to lose 2-1 then.
Told you.
Right.
Okay.
Then you ask her and pick a number.
Pick a number.
1 and 2.
1 and 2. Yeah. We're going to lose 2-1.
So we're going to lose 2-1.
She's very sure, Cam. You're trying to avoid it.
Very sure.
Very, very sure we're going to lose 2-1.
I don't. Right.
I don't blame her.
Pick a hero. Who's a favourite player?
She won't know. So we're going to go Lewis Reed.
Okay. Cam, you're up next, which means Jim, you can talk.
And this is for the Reading game, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah. 2-1 win. I'm going to go Tyler Roberts.
Nick.
2-1 defeat, Roberts. Tyler Roberts.
I'm going to go for a 1-1 draw, and I'm going to go with, quickly check who I had last time. I'm going to go with FBT for my hero who won't score 0. As ever, if you want to get involved with podcast predictions, you can do so. The link that you need is in the description. A reminder, you must submit your guesses no later than 90 minutes before kickoff, and you can't pick the same player 2 games in a row. And a reminder, we don't do cup games. Nick, I've got a treat for you. I've got a question for you. Are you ready for it?
I think I might be.
What's in my shoe? I was cleaning out the...
Shoe.
Yes, Evelyn. Good girl. Right. I was cleaning out my... Yeah, she's leaving you high and dry there, and I saw that. I was cleaning out a bit of spring cleaning the other day, and I found a random old shoe, and there was a random item stuffed inside it. So you guys have got to guess what it is. You've got 3 questions and 3 questions only to ask me questions, which I can only answer yes, no, or maybe 2, or give you a little bit of a steer along the way. And this is the order that we're going to go in. We're going to go Nick, then we're going to go Jim, then we're going to go Cam. So can you figure out what's in my shoe? Nick?
Just quickly before, Arsenal have a worldwide fan base, and I can now picture some poor man in Indonesia who is thinking, well, I'll have a look about Mansfield. Let's see what their fans think of the game. And he turns on and logs on at the exact moment a 600-foot high yellow and blue shoe with a very high-pitched auto-tuned voice is rotating on the screen while Alan Wilson just goes, shoo, shoo. And do you reckon he turned it off at that point, or is he hooked?
Oh, he's hooked, mate.
Hooked.
He wants a series of this.
He's now getting his mates round. There's now 7 of them all around the screen going, hang on, rewind it. Look at this jingle.
Arsenal Fan TV would kill for this content.
Oh, absolutely. Right, what is in your shoe? Is it an item of stationery?
No. Jim?
Is it something to do with the game on Saturday?
No.
Jim.
Would you buy it in a supermarket?
I don't think I've ever seen one in a supermarket. However, that's a really tough question. If the supermarket was called Curry's, yes. Nick?
Does this item have a plug on it?
Yes, it has one at either end. Jim?
Oh, goodness me. You're asking the wrong person about technology. Is it something everybody's got one of?
Yes. Yes.
If what? You were going to give us another clue there. If what? Come on, spit it out.
If you were trying to connect somewhere, yes.
Oh, okay. Does it help send things from one place to another?
Yes.
Okay.
Final question.
Does it have 3 letters at the start of this thing? Is it composed of 3 letters?
Oh, yeah, I know. No.
Okay.
I've lost sound again.
Jim?
All right.
You're still there, Jim. We can hear you.
Does this thing actually fit in your trainer? Because what I'm thinking of, it seems a bit big. Oh, okay.
Well,
okay.
Yes,
well,
it does fit.
You know what they say
it does.
about
it
the priest.
Does, you can get them in all shapes and sizes.
Can you ever?
Or length. Actually, no, I won't say all shapes and sizes. You can get them in all lengths. Anyway.
That's true.
Okay.
Oh dear. Can you get really expensive versions of this and also really cheap versions of this item?
Yeah. I guess so. Yeah. I don't really know. I mean,
This is an awful one.
I've never actually paid for one of these because every time you change supplier of said thing which it works for, you get a free one in the box.
Just to let you know, the Indonesian listeners have gone.
No, they haven't. They haven't, Nick. Because you're going to. I'm going to give you one final question. You're going to grip him with one final question each. Go on. I'll give you one final bonus question.
Oh God, one final bonus question. Oh my word. Would my grandma recognise what this is if you showed it?
I've never met your grandma, so I can't comment.
She hasn't got the internet.
Then no. No, I don't think she would. Jim?
My question is a bit similar to Nick's, really. Is it something you'd be able to buy 30 years ago?
No.
Ooh.
Don't forget, 30 years ago wasn't that long ago.
That's a good point, actually.
I'm 27 this year, so
in 30 years ago, you didn't. The internet wasn't really a thing, was it? As much. You had that. Yeah, it didn't work like that, did it? Anyway, Cam,
is it a type of cable that me and you might have used quite a lot a very long time ago?
The very long time ago part, no, because we're using them now. We are all using it. We are all using them now, and that is my final clue. So I have a question for you. It's what's in my shoe? Nick, what's your guess? What's in my shoe?
I believe it is a mid to short length Ethernet cable.
Jim, what's in my shoe?
What do you call it? Modem. Internet box, whatever they call it.
What are them there modems? What are them modems?
One of them modems.
One of them there internet things, caboodles.
Internet jobbers.
Cam?
What a boomer answer that is. Do you mind?
Jim, what's there?
Ethernet cable. Ethernet cable, Cat 5, take your pick, whatever you know it as.
Jim asked, did it fit in my shoe? Where am I there? It's an Ethernet cable!
Yeah, well done, Nick.
Winner, chicken dinner. Let's go.
It was stuffed in my trainer, and it's a broken one as well, so I don't actually know why I've got it. So there you go. That was a good edition of What's in My Shoe, right?
Very good edition. That's up there. Game. Ranking editions of that's got to be up there. I mean, what was in your shoe last week?
What was it? I can't remember what the first What's in My Shoe was. I don't write them down. I just shove something in my shoe and away we go. But
could it be your foot?
Yeah, I guess so. Yeah, I guess so. Wait until next week when we play a game of Who's in Craig's Loo. That's
Yes. Now that Arsenal, will be. Now they will come back for that.
If Arsenal fans want a reason to stick around, that is it. Right, let's wrap things up for tonight then, shall we? Jim, I'm going to come to you. Jim, I'm going to come to you for the third time, Cam. Jim, I'm going to come to you. Arsenal on Saturday. It's going to be a great occasion, is it? What's your overriding thoughts around the whole experience and everything that's going to come with it on Saturday?
I think it's going to be tighter than people think. Obviously, they're not going to play the best team. I think what the big thing for me is it depends how the referees the game. So I can imagine a lot of Arsenal players jumping on the floor, holding the face because they won't like people in the face. And if the referee's not having any of it, we could be in business. But then again, at the same time, we've got VAR, so we need to be careful of that. But to be honest with you, I'm not really bothered about the result. Just go and have a go, enjoy it, rattle them a little bit, and that's it, really. Just enjoy it for what it is. And then on to the proper stuff for us, which is staying up.
Yeah, I think it's really important, Nick, isn't it, to get the focus back as soon as the full-time whistle's gone, regardless of what happens, even if we fluke it and get, and do them on penalties or whatever. As soon as that whistle's gone, we've got to just move on because League One safety is the most important.
Yeah, I think Tuesday night's the most important one, isn't it? I know there's a bit of confliction in my brain somewhere, but I think Tuesday night. If you'd only win one game, I think we'd have to take Tuesday night, wouldn't we? Because there's no point doing anything against Arsenal if you then go and lose to Reading, which would absolutely be the Mansfield way, as we've said before. We beat Burnley and then lost on the Tuesday night. So it'll be tighter than people think. I think. I mean, my prediction was something like 3 or 4-1, something like that. But I would take that as long as we don't get embarrassed completely. 9-0 or whatever extra was, 9-1 or whatever. I'd rather not. But if we get embarrassed 9-0 and then beat Reading, then who cares?
Yeah, absolutely. Evelyn, obviously Saturday's a big game for Mansfield. How do you think we're going to do? Are we going to win, lose, or draw on Saturday? We're going to win or lose. What do you think, Evelyn?
Win or lose?
We'll lose.
We're going to lose.
Oh,
she's watched Mansfield before, hasn't she?
She has watched Mansfield before. Cam, it is a huge game for the town as well. It's a huge momentous occasion. We've had Liverpool in the FA Cup before, Newcastle as well. Arsenal, they're the Premier League leaders, coming to the One Call Stadium. This is as big a test as we will ever see, right?
I think
Nobody cares what you think.
I knew it. I knew it was coming. I knew.
And there's the full-time whistle on yet another Mansfield Matters podcast. My thanks as ever to the Mansfield Matters podcast panel, and of course to you guys at home for watching and for listening. Make sure you follow us on all things social media to find out when we're next going to be live. A little bit of a hint for you and a heads up, it won't be next Thursday. Busy. I know. How dare my life plans get in the way of the podcast? That should always come first. Well, I don't fancy sleeping on the sofa and telling the missus no, so deal with it. Anyway, don't forget to get involved with podcast predictions. We might not be playing the game for the FA Cup fixture on Saturday, but we are getting your predictions ready for Reading on Tuesday night. A reminder, 90 minutes before kick-off, you need to submit your guesses by, and you can't pick the same player twice. Right, enjoy Saturday, soak in the atmosphere, remember it for what it is, a glorious one-off occasion, and when it's all said and done, we'll focus on all things League One. Until then, good night! Now, before we do end, we have to give the final word to a very special little girl. I felt sorry for having to take Cam out of the stream, but, you know, it's the gag, isn't it? Everybody wants it at the end of the show. If I don't do it, people genuinely come up to me and say, why didn't you kick Cam out at the end of the show? And it's just too funny, but I have to do this. And, you know, I wouldn't be able to sleep at night if I didn't give her her starring moment. Ladies and gentlemen, the best podcaster in the Felton family, Evelyn.
Say it. Good
One more time. Go one more time.
Do it again.
One more time. One more time. That'll do. What a girl. Good night.
Protect what matters most with Actifire Limited, your trusted local fire safety experts in Nottinghamshire. Proud sponsors of the Mansfield Matters podcast. From fire extinguishers and alarms to emergency lighting, pat testing and risk assessments, they've got everything you need for your business to stay safe. Affordable, reliable, professional. Because when it comes to fire protection, there's no room for compromise. Call Actifire Limited today or visit actifire.co.uk. Be ready, be safe, act now. Actifire Limited, proud sponsors of the Mansfield Matters podcast. Hello.